President Biden has reiterated his desire to have corporations and wealthy Americans pay their fair share of taxes as Democrats look to finance his infrastructure plan and $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill. Biden's address comes just days after the House Ways and Means Committee moved forward the tax portion of their social safety net bill. Under the plan, the top individual income tax bracket would increase to 39.6% from 37%. Also, the committee plan would increase the long-term capital gains tax rate to 25% from 20% on individuals with an income over $400,000 and married couples with an income over $450,000. During the address, Biden said his infrastructure plan, reconciliation bill, and increased taxes on the wealthy and corporations could forge a new path for the country.
The choice is this. Are we going to continue with an economy where the overwhelming share of the benefits go to big corporations and the very wealthy? Or are we going to take this moment right now to set this country on a new path?
According to a poll conducted by the Washington Post, 80% of Democrats support the tax increase to fund Biden's plans, while only 31% of Republicans share that support. The House Ways and Means Committee has also proposed increasing the top corporate tax rate to 26.5% from 21% for businesses that earn over $5 million annually. Republicans oppose the increase, saying they are concerned that it would slow the economic recovery from the pandemic. The president also addressed the extent to which large corporations have been enabled not to pay their fair share of taxes.
How is it possible that 55 of the largest corporations in this country paid $0 in federal income taxes? They made over $40 billion in the year 2020, and they paid zero. Think about that. $0 in federal taxes on $40 billion in profits.
Joining us now are President of People for the American Way, Ben Jealous, and Senior Fellow for the Brookings Metropolitan Policy Program, Andrew Perry. So, Ben, do these proposals, both from Biden and from Congress, truly get at the issue of the super wealthy and the largest corporations actually getting around to paying their fair share of taxes?
The devils will be in the details. Far more important than the rates is making sure that we close the loopholes. Jeff Bezos pays less taxes than my grandma. Donald Trump pays less taxes than my grandma. Something's fundamentally wrong with that. My grandmother is a retired social worker on a fixed income. And so we've got to get the corruption out of the tax system. What the president's proposing, what the top lines are right. I want to see the bill and really understand how he's going to close those loopholes. And in the meantime, yes, this looks like a good step towards, frankly, paying the bill on George Bush's horribly wrong and horribly long war. This looks like a good opportunity to finally, close the outrageous Donald Trump tax laws, which were, as crazy as that sounds, I mean, Donald Trump writing your tax code, yeah, it's probably going to benefit the billionaire class, and that's what he did. It fixes a lot, the top lines, but I want to see the details because I want to see how we're going to close the loopholes. My grandma's tired of paying more taxes than Jeff Bezos.
Andre, one of the ways or two of the ways that very wealthy people don't pay their fair share of taxes are not actually in these bills or in these proposals, which is wealth and inheritance. There is no wealth tax in any of these proposals, and there is no increase in inheritance tax in these proposals. So how do we get to that wealth if you're saying I'm going to tax capital gains, but Bezos says I don't need to cash out. I don't need to realize the gains. And therefore I could just get more and more wealthy without ever seeing a tax man. How do you get around that other than if you tax wealth?
Yeah, and before I get to that, I just want to level set a little bit. The 400 richest American billionaires have more total wealth than all Black Americans combined. And half of all wealth comes about from intergenerational transfers. And so if you're not taxing inheritances, you're really not trying to close the wealth divides in this country. And you're missing a major source of revenue to fund not only the programs in his relief packages and on his agenda, but other issues as well. If we're ever going to get to free college or some type of baby bonds, you're going to have to tax inheritances. And so that's missing. And again, I can't say this enough. That accounts for half of all wealth in this country. And when Biden asks, how did these things happen? We know how it happened. People use their wealth to influence tax policy. And one of the easiest ways that people can accumulate wealth and prohibit the redistribution of wealth is by allowing the intergenerational transfers of homes and other assets from one family member to the next. But remember, it wasn't that long ago where we taxed heavily inheritances. And so it was Bush, but this actually it began during the Reagan era, certainly Bush and then Trump. And so they wealthy people have used their resources to influence tax policy.
So, Ben, do you think the Democrats are being disingenuous? Is this just a part, taxing the really uber wealthy and wealth taxes and inheritance taxes? Is that just a Bernie wing of the party discussion? Or are Democrats basically walking away from an opportunity to actually tax the wealthy? What they're really saying right now is they're just going to tax rich people who actually get a salary. You're rich because somebody writes you a check every month and it's a lot of zeros on it. We're going to tax that. The really wealthy people, we're going to leave you alone.
The increase in the long-term capital gains rate will impact a whole lot of very rich people. There's a lot of rich folks who do convert stocks into cash at different points, and that is real. Frankly, beefing up the enforcement arm. There's a lot of rich people who frankly evade taxes. President Trump is likely one of them. We'll see how that trial goes. But those are two big things that are in this bill. As it moves through, yes, there has to be more in it to actually tighten up the loopholes that make it so easy for the very rich to not pay any taxes. And that's something that I'm hoping we will find as we get kind of down into the weeds of the bill. But right now, increasing the long-term capital gains rate and beefing up the enforcement will impact a whole lot of rich folks who should be paying their fair share and are not.
Andre, how do we get to the issue of repatriating revenue? Like all the companies that move operations to other places where taxes are lower. Most of our major corporations are international corporations. They can just shift things around so that they kind of miss the biggest hit from corporate taxation because they'll just produce a lot of stuff in other countries. How do we get them to come bring that home, bring that operation home, bring that cash home, bring that revenue home?
Well, I don't know if we can bring the companies back home, but we can certainly figure out ways to tax people. And again, I think this is a good step, Biden's plan, but it really doesn't address some of the fundamental ways our resources are distributed in this country. Wealthy people are hoarding more and more of their resources using stocks, bonds, inheritances, corporate coverage. I mean, there's so many different lanes to protect people's wealth in this country and prohibit the revenue that we need, particularly during times like this. One of the reasons why we need people to pay their fair share is because inevitable disasters will strike, an economic shock will happen. We know that there will be more pandemics, more hurricanes, more fires. At some point, at some point, we need corporations, we need individuals, we need dead people to pay their taxes, or something is going to break. In addition, it makes America extremely vulnerable to international competition when we have such a disparity between the rich and the poor. So this is something that we ultimately have to fix. And Biden, again, is taking one step, taking a looking at a few opportunities. Democrats need to pounce and need to advance a much broader agenda, because if we can't get this through now during a pandemic, when we see the importance of government spending to bolster an economy, then we're not going to do this when times are better.
Ben Jealous and Andre Perry, smartest conversation on television, gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I really appreciate it. More Prime after the break.